Salutations, fam. This is Dark Slayer from How Tessia Gaming. And so I did say I wanted to do another like deck building video, but this one's going to be a bit more hands-on. So basically, instead of making like a video, like kind of going over like a concept, I figured I would just make like this video where this is actually a deck that I took to a tournament. I'm going to be like kind of discussing it and like the thought process behind the card choices and like changes and things like that. Like this is actually, part of my process, and I figured, let's just hit record instead of just doing it. Let's just hit record. So I took this list to a tournament on Friday, and it performed very well, but ultimately I did end up like losing in the last round, and I bubbled. I bubbled just off the cusp of top cut, and it was unfortunate. But I just wanted to, kind of talk about like some of the card choices and everything. And one of the things about like deck building that's important to do and like keep in mind is that like don't just focus on like the results of the games themselves. Like don't just focus on whether or not you won or lost and things like that. Focus on like the actual impact of the card choices and things like that. Because there were a lot of games that I won that I still felt like some cards were just like not really doing it. But yeah. Oh wait, actually, hold up. The one. Hold up. This was an alternative, actually. Yeah, that was an alternative at the tournament. Let me just kind of go over it. So basically, the list was 2 Blue Eyes, 1 alternative. It's pretty standard. 2 Jet Dragon, 2 Stone of Ancients, triple Sage, triple Lancia, triple Extra, triple Dragon Ravine, triple Melody, triple Ultimate Fusion, triple True Light, double Punishment, triple Imperm, triple Gozen, 1 Skill Drain, triple Fist of the Unrivaled Tenyi. Extra deck was triple Tyrant Dragon, double Alternative Ultimate Dragon. Now, funnily enough, I actually only played one of this because technically, well, not well. Actually, I was playing a 14 card extra deck because I had 14 actual cards and then an empty sleeve in my extra deck because I kept forgetting to put this in there. So I played through the entire tournament with 14 cards in my extra deck, but it was supposed to be a second copy of this. But thankfully, I got like really lucky, and every time like they banished off extra, they banished the empty sleeve, and they never actually banished this. But yeah, the 2 copies of this, 1 copy of Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon. This was meant to be a punishment target. 1 copy of Blue Eyes Ultimate Dragon in case they pop this. 1 Twin Burst, double Entis, 1 Wind Pegasus Adagnister, triple Link Karibo, and the 1 Blackluster Soldier, Soldier of Chaos. And the side, we got the 1 Pankratops, triple Nib, triple Phantasme. This card was exceptional. Oh my god, man. Double Godarla, triple Cosmic, and triple Evenly Match. Moving into like how I felt about like a lot of the card choices. So in my first round, I played against Nemesis, and I lost the die roll. My opponent, without knowing what I'm playing, just makes the hold up, I think it's called, yeah, this thing. They summon this thing and they just blind call drag. Don't even know what I'm playing, but they just like, it's you, so I'm gonna take a guess that you're on dragons. And I'm like, I was like, dang, bro, I'm glad I'm not actually playing dragons. I'm glad I'm playing Blue Eyes because I ended up winning the game. So basically what happened was he summoned this and then like just kind of sat behind this for a while. And this was like the only monster in his field. And basically what I ended up doing was I had a Gozen match. And I was able to flip up Gozen match. So he had to like just have this. And basically what I kept doing was I kept like setting monsters and stuff. And he would like call dragons. And then like we just kind of sat there for a while. And I had a Dragon Ravine. And pretty much every turn I would just like put a Blue Eyes Engrave. And then on, I can't remember which turn it was. But he activated the effect, called dragons. And then I chained Ultimate Fusion to fuse away my 3 Blue Eyes for alternative Ultimate Dragon, and then this can't be destroyed by my opponent's card effects, and so, it destroys all the monsters on the field, but it's like, we can't special, but it's like, that's fine, because, like, I still have this, and, well, this is 4,500, this is only 3k, so pretty much the next turn I just, like, kind of killed it, and then, like, took the game from there. It was pretty funny. And then, like, game 2, he actually got like really greedy with a play, and I ended up being able to nib this before. So basically, I nibbed him before he was able to use the effect, and then he actually ended up summoning another one, and he called the dragon. Because apparently like the summon's not once returned, but the effect is. But he called dragons, and I was like, that's fine because like I have the nib, and I'm just gonna crash into it next turn, so you can't like lock me out of the game now. And so I ended up winning that one, and then I think but yeah, that was just a really funny match that I felt like bringing up because it's just Ultimate Fusion into alternative Ultimate Dragon, winning against the Nemesis boss monster, locking me out of the game. Um, what's some other memorable moments? Phantasme like really overperformed. Like every time I resolved Phantasme, it was like absolutely amazing. It like fixed a brick hand and like gave me exactly what I needed to like take the game next turn. Like it was so good. One game against Tri Brigade. So my opponent was going to go into like a tri line to like kill me and everything like that. And like I phantasmade and drew into Lancia. So I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so good at the game. And speaking on Phantasm, I just want to point out like this one of the most underrated aspects of this card, in addition to the fact that it like fixes your hands, it's the fact its presence on the board, like it being like just this kind of big body that has like that targeting negate is it was pretty impactful. I'm not gonna lie, and just like being able to have this applying pressure was like very nice. Onto the things I felt like weren't really that good. Alternative, honestly. So I played alternative and like melodies because I wanted to be able to like use this to its fullest potential. And if you use alternative to make this, then it gets to pop 3 cards instead of 1, which is just like pretty much always a blowout. But the thing about this card was that like I didn't need to pop 3 cards. Like just it being on the board and being 4,500 and unable to be destroyed by card effects, by being targeted or destroyed by card effects, was just like that was already enough to be like really strong. Because if I like put this on the board, it was just usually my opponent was just like, yeah, I can't out this. um, but alternative itself and like by extension melody didn't really feel that impactful. There were a couple of times where I had like alternative and like this, and like this wasn't live because this was alternative and not a blue eyes. And then like there was a couple of times I had this in my hand alongside True Light, and I couldn't special this because it was alternative and not like the vanilla. Um, yeah, and then like with melody, there were a couple of times where there were cards I didn't want to discard, and like the payoff of this is like alternative most of the time because like with Jet, I'm not really having trouble getting access to Jet, but it's just like melody felt pretty subpar, so that's one of the things I kind of want to change. Same thing with Sage. Sage is obviously a good card, but it's just it felt really subpar a lot of the time. Because when you're normal summoning Sage, if you don't have specific like Dragon Ravine or Melody, you're just searching your starter to maybe play the game next turn. It's like I would rather just be a starter. Extrab's amazing. Lancia was amazing. Dragon Ravine was amazing. I can't stress enough how impactful it is to have that card that just can give you access to all of your dragons whenever, and then it's also being a field spell so you can do that turn after turn. Ultimate Fusion was exceptional, but I felt like I didn't see it enough, honestly. I felt like I needed like more copies of this a lot of the time, so that's something I kind of want to address with the changes. True Light, similarly, I didn't see punishment that much, but it was good. Like I saw it one time the entire tournament, and it was good that one time. Imperm was very good. Kind of wish I saw it more, even though I saw it like a lot. Gozen, just like I said in the last Fusion Control deck profile, this should be skill drain. Like it's just it feels so weak in comparison to skill drain. Even though like this did win me games, it's just like every time that this won me a game, this would have won me the game too. And there were several times where this didn't do anything, where this would have won me the game. So it's just like I can't wait for this DT reprint to hit so I can go ahead and get my other copies of Skill Drain. This card was good, Counter Trap, Omni Negate, pretty good. It's just that I do wish it was, I was playing the third alternative, so this could be like even better. So in regards to the main deck, I'm actually just gonna like make the changes now that am planning to make. So I'm planning on cutting all of these, right? Um, so the idea that I want to try the next time I end up playing this deck is playing the third copy of the vanilla. Because again, there were several times where I had like this, but because it was alternative, I couldn't actually summon the monster. And then instead of playing Melody to like get access to a Blue Eyes on board, I want to actually play Fusion Deployment. So this card, just puts Blue Eyes on board, and it's just like it does the same thing that Melody does, but without discarding a card. So it's like I want to try. The idea is 2 copies of this, and then one copy of Bingo Machine Go. This will be that fourth copy of This will be the fourth copy of Ultimate Fusion and the fourth copy of True Light. And to some degree, the fourth, it can also get me access to like, just all the Blue Eyes cards. So I figured, one True Light, we'll try that out. And then the last thing change I want to make with the deck is I actually want to try playing, a small Dogmatica engine, like 2 copies of Nadir and 1 Ecclesia. And there's actually some changes to the extra deck that I want to try out that, kind of go hand in hand with this. Obviously, I'm playing Punishment, so I'm playing, like, Punishment targets in the extra deck. But one of the things I want to try out, I guess, I hate when, there we go. Yeah, there's one thing I want to try out in the extra that my friend actually brought up that I actually kind of like as a concept is Chimera Felicia. So you can, if this hits the grave, you get to search Ultimate Fusion, and like that does sound pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, I do kind of want to try this out. So like being able to go Nadir send this, Nadir send Entis, Nadir send this, Nadir send this, like. Nadir is really good in this deck, and it also gives you access to Punishment while also getting you, like, board presence through the form of Ecclesia. And, like, that can be relevant because, it can help you access BLS more. In regards to the extra deck, cards that I felt weren't really, like, that impactful, obviously Tyrant Dragon was, like, insane. I remember one game I had, like, the fact that this is unaffected by traps and you can just keep, like, resetting stuff. Yeah, that was really strong. Alternative Ultimate won me the game. I never actually did. I end up putting this in the graveyard because, like I said, I didn't actually see Punishment that much over the course of the event. Nobody popped this. One game in particular, and this is another thing where I was like, if this was the Melody was a Fusion deployment instead, then, it would have been better because one of the games I actually got Lightning Storm because I didn't get, like, chose not to summon Jet, I think. And they Lightning Storm me, and this would have been able to trigger, but I had to pitch this for Melody in order to get, like, access to, like, guaranteed disruption. Because I was able to, like, summon Alternative and then set, like, I pitched Melody, searched Alternative, special Alternative, and set this. And, like, that just, it died to Lightning Storm, and it's just, like, if, I had access to, Fusion Deployment instead, I would have been able to utilize all 3 of these, actually. I would have had the Ultimate Fusion, the Gozen Match, and the Counter Trap. So when he activated the Counter Trap, I would have been able to negate it with this, and then had the Gozen to, like, shut down his plays, and then also had the Ultimate Fusion to, like, just randomly, pop a card of his. And it's just, yeah, Fusion Deployment, honestly, it feels better. One of the things I want to, like, going back to my previous deck building video, it's important to not look at cards in a vacuum. Yes, Sage is good. Yes, Sage is good in Blue Eyes deck, but you don't want to look at whether a card is good or whether a card is good, like, in a vacuum. You want to look at whether the card is good very specifically in your deck, in your deck list. And, like, in this, build, Sage just wasn't really that good. So I think we're going to try out the Fusion Deployments, try out the Nadirs. But yeah, we're going to take out Twin Burst, actually. Yeah, Twin Burst, I never found myself summoning it. It's just like, why would I summon a monster that can attack twice when I can summon a monster that can just attack everything, And it's like, sure, Twin Burst comes up specifically in the Eldritch matchup where you can, like, banish, Golden Lord if it's specifically at 35, but it's just so many specific things have to happen for that to happen in a matchup where you can just summon this and their entire deck just kind of folds anyway. So it's like, yeah, and then, like, this also kind of, like, bodies that deck really hard, so I don't know, man. I feel like Twin Burst is just, like, not the card. I'm going to try out the Rafflesia. I like the idea of being able to Nadir, send, and then search Ultimate Fusion, and just give myself extra access to everything. That's something I kind of like. The BLS, I never ended up summoning it, but it's just I'm gonna be real. This probably should be cut for like something else, but I'm going to keep playing it because this card is ridiculously strong. Similarly to Ultimate Dragon, if this card hits the board, I usually just win the game. In regards to the side deck, actually, so a couple of things. Actually, honestly, the side deck was pretty solid. If I'm gonna be real. The only thing was like Godarla never came up, not because the Godarla like wasn't good, but specifically because my opponent like just was playing around it like the entire time, even though like he didn't actually know I was playing Kaiju's. So basically, I would side this him if my opponent's playing DPE because you just Kaiju the DPE and then it's just gone. But he kept he kept popping the DPE in standby phase. So I couldn't actually like kaiju it. And yeah, Nib wasn't like amazing, but it did help me in that like one game against Nemesis where I like nibbed his the Escados before he was able to like do anything with it. But I feel like I'm kind of on that matchup, but I don't know. One of the things I do want to try and like find room for in the deck is this card. Dimensional Barrier. This card. So one of the things about this deck, and I did like side this the last time I played the Fusion Control build. This card's just really insane in this deck because of the fact that this can just keep resetting it. And one of the things to remember is that because this is unaffected by traps, you can actually call Fusion and then like Tyrant can still like reset it and everything. And it's just like the card's really strong, and it's just like I don't know. I'm kind of thinking of like cutting Gozen match and playing like D barrier instead. I don't know. I don't know. At the very least, I want to try and fit it into the side, but it's just like I really don't know what I want to end up cutting. Godarla was good. Phantasma was good. Nib was good. Pank is Pank. We need stuff for back row. We got the Cosmics. We have the Evenlies. I'm thinking about maybe cutting the Cosmics because like this is more of a control deck. I don't necessarily need to like kill my opponent immediately after adding the Floodgate, and like this also outs Floodgate. So honestly, I think that might be what we end up doing. We're just gonna like I already feel it. I'm going to regret it, but try things out, see how we like it. Yeah. So this is probably gonna be the change we make. We have the Evenlies. Let me think. I don't feel comfortable having this little answer side cards for back row. Um, and also, like, I end up in a situation where I don't really have enough stuff to side for, like, the Eldritch matchup. Because, like, this doesn't do anything. Like, these 7 cards don't do anything. And to an extent, this doesn't either. So it's like I would have like 10 dead cards against the Eldritch matchup, and I don't really like that. Like Eldritch's not super common, so it's like it's probably not that big of a deal, but it's just I'm not really sure what I'm gonna end up doing. I'll probably like uh I'm really not sure. um Yeah, it's like I don't know what to cut. Dimensional Barrier is really strong. Evenly's really strong. Pank's insane. The main deck's really strong. It's like, yeah. That's a rough one. I'll figure something out though. I'll figure something out. Maybe ah, oof, this one's rough. What do I want to play? It's like I do know I want to play this. I didn't like. I haven't been running into back row that much, so it's like the cosmic probably aren't super necessary. And this does also out floodgates, but it's just like, man, it feels weird to not have like half of my side deck be dedicated to like back row matchups. But it's just like I feel like honestly, because yeah, even being able to like Nadir send Entis also like kind of deals with floodgates too. It's like I don't know. Well, I'm gonna try it out, see if I end up regretting it. Only having like Evenlies in the side for like back row. Um, but yeah, those are the changes I'm gonna try out next time. Um, I do think that the deck performed really well. It's just that it was just a couple of little corner cases where it's just like if things were like slightly different, I would have been able to like take it. Also, I will say in one of my games, I actually would have won, but I actually like wasn't doing my due diligence. So normally I just use the Neuron app to keep track of life points. but I wasn't doing that, and we were just kind of like mentally keeping track of life, and you should never do that. Just always have like a something to actually keep track of life. Because basically what happened is I had game, but I didn't realize I had game because I wasn't keeping track of life. So he was at 3,000 life points, and he had a bunch of monsters on the board. And like this can attack all of my opponent's monsters, and then I had a jet engraved. So I would have been able to. He was at 3,000 life. I would have been able to clear the board with Tyrant Dragon, special summon Jet, and then attack for game with Jet if he didn't like die from the damage from all of this. And it's just like, man, I should have been paying more attention, but you know, it is what it is. Well, we just got to make sure we actually like are more aware at the next event, and that we actually like keep track of life points. But that's gonna kind of cover it for this one. These are the changes I'm going to like try out next time. The logic behind them. Yeah, D barrier, call whatever your opponent's playing, attack with Tyrant, reset it, and just keep doing that every turn. Like, yeah, I didn't play it, and it's just like it feels too strong to not play. I don't like goes in match, but until I get more skill drains, I kind of just have to play it. So it is what it is. That's gonna be it for this one. This has been Dark Slayer from How Tessia Gaming. Thank you very much for watching, and have a wonderful day.